Thank you all for coming, those of us who are joining in person as well as those of us who are online. First, we want to get started with the adoption of the agenda. Are there any corrections, additions to the agenda? All right, hearing none, the agenda is adopted. So again, I just want to just welcome everyone to the meeting. I'm actually going to turn it over to Skip to just do the introductions of a few of our special guests we have today.
Okay, so in just a minute I'm going to get to Michelle Noble, who is our branch manager here, but I want to introduce Eliza Guy. She is at Discovery. She's here because she is an LATI student, fairly new in the LA world. And would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I started in July. I'm very excited to be here and be learning.
Awesome. The LATI students have to attend a board meeting at some point. So you're one of the few from your class that has started, so welcome. Michelle.
Hi. Welcome to the Eastport Annapolis Tech branch. My name is Michelle Noble. I have been here since 2008. But I have worked at Anne Arundel County Public Library since 1993, and back then the board did not look like this at all. So thank you all for volunteering your time and your talent to making our library the best it can be. Feel free to come out and talk to our staff and take a look at our branch. Be excited to talk to any of you. Thanks.
Thanks, Michelle.
Any questions from the board?
Hey, Michelle, it's Rob Sapp. Been a long time. It's good, really good to see you.
Rob Sapp, yeah, Rob Sapp. Good to see you, Rob. Thank you. All right, so before we move on the agenda, I did want to just give Barbie Calder a few moments to speak. I know that she had a chance to visit the Severna Park branch, and so just wanted to give you a few moments to be able to share your.
Yeah, thank you. So I went and I met with Samantha, who's the manager there at Severna Park, and we just discussed really quickly the upcoming refresh that's kind of been expedited because of the donation with the Nye family. So one of the challenges that she says she's really having is with space, which obviously is a finite resource for everybody, but especially in Severna Park because of the shape of the building, how it's laid out and all that. So one of the things she's wanting to do is really refresh this space as much as the materials and the stuff as much as possible, rearranging as much as possible. And one of the things she really wants to focus on is having a dedicated teen space. She's noticed that it's not so much the materials that the teens are going there for, it's the space, it's the safe space, right? A place where they could go, not be hassled by anybody, things like that. Just kind of updating the flow of the library. And one of the large challenges also that they're having is limited private space. They have the meeting room, but that's pretty much it. So if anybody comes in, wants a quiet space to make a phone call, even the staff sometimes, one-on-ones, sessions, things like that. That's a challenge for that space. So she's looking for ideas that can maybe help with those challenges. But other than that, they're just looking forward to getting rid of, I think she really hates the shelving there because it's been there since it was opened in, 72. So she's excited for new shelves. But yeah, it was a lovely meeting. I really enjoyed meeting her, and I look forward to continuing to meet the staff.
Awesome, thank you for sharing that. Just one other quick note before we move on as well. I just wanted to draw your attention to the second page of the agenda here, where we've got the general staff meeting, which will take place on October 16th. We certainly, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but someone sent a Zoom link to Dylan.
Thank you. Oh, great. Yeah, I just wanted to draw your attention to that date. Certainly mark your calendar if you're able to attend. Please, who should they let know? Donna?
Let Donna know
Yeah,
if you're
please
going to be
let
able
Donna
to
know.
attend the general staff meeting.
Yeah, and
right?
again.
Is that right, Donna? Yeah, that'd be best.
Yeah, certainly we encourage everyone to go.
Bethany Lambert.
Oh, Bethany?
Bethany Lambert, so we'll need to send out her email address so everybody can send that. Okay.
Okay, yeah, just making sure that you all know that certainly everyone is welcome, and if you can't make it, we understand, but certainly if you can make room on your calendar, please do.
It's always interesting. Unfortunately, I will be in Boston for a wedding, so.
So just to say a little more about that, the way that the general staff meeting goes, for any of you who have not been, In the morning, we have a whole bunch of sessions and speakers. We've got, I forget exactly who our keynote speaker is off the top of my head, but we also give awards to staff based on the number of years of service that they have. We invite all full-time and all career staff, career meaning they benefited staff, and then the part-time staff are invited when they're having their 5-year or 10-year or 25-year, whatever, service award. So that happens in the morning, and that's really the main session we're inviting you to. It starts at about 8:30 with breakfast, so there's a lot of good breakfast. It's a great time to mix and mingle with people. You'll see the entire staff of the library system is all in one place. The buzz and the energy and the excitement is just tangible. So it's a great thing to get to if you can, if you're not in Boston.
And also just another note, it's the same day as our committee meetings, our virtual committee meetings, so just as an FYI on that. All right, so moving on the agenda, I'd like to move to the approval of the minutes. We've got 2 different sets of minutes that need approval here. So are there any corrections to the minutes? All right, hearing none. The minutes are approved. All right, and I'm assuming we don't have anyone here for public comments?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so we can move on from there to the consent agenda. So we have the one item, the one motion that came from the Finance Committee, motion to add new target date for an investment option for the staff, as well as a catch-up feature to the 457 retirement plan. So are there any objections to the item on the agenda? I mean, on the consent agenda? Any discussion at all? Okay. All right, so I move that the, sorry about that. All right, so,
You need to take a vote.
yes,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Sorry, still learning the flow, so sorry about that. So all in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? All right, looks like, I'm sorry,
Mark me as an abstention.
yes, I understand. Yeah. All right, so the ayes have it. All right, we can move right on into the reports. I'll go ahead and start with my chair's report. So as you all know, this is the week for the Love of the Library is tomorrow. I know many of you have already, you've got your tickets. You know at this point, certainly that the event is sold out again this year. So we're all looking forward to, a really, really wonderful opportunity to connect with those in the community who really support our library. And so thank you all for those of you who are able to attend, those who are not. I know you certainly support in many ways, and obviously our signature fundraiser for the year with the foundation. So I want to personally thank Kathleen, the foundation staff, as well as the event committee for the Love of the Library for planning this very, very wonderful event. And so definitely looking forward to it. I want to also just thank all of you who participated in the CEO evaluation process. At this point, I've got all the submissions. We had 10 submissions this year, so thank you all for participating in that. And so I'll be, in the next week or so, be sending out a compilation of what was shared in those evaluations. I want to just mention too, we had 10 submissions from trustees, and we also had 7 from the foundation board members as, advisory submissions. So, thank you again to all who participated in that. Just wanted to very quickly just mention a couple of events that I know we also had shared an email. Upcoming on October 11th, we have the Citizens for Maryland Libraries annual conference, which I attended last year. Is my first time attending. Wonderful conference. If you're able to make it, certainly do put it on your calendar. It's a free conference, and again, a really great way to engage with people from around the state who really love and support our public library systems. on the same day, we also are celebrating Cheers to AACPL with the foundation board. They are actually inviting us for a social for the trustees and foundation board to celebrate again the library with the fundraiser at Firm Brewery. So again, if you were able to put either or both of those events on your calendars, please do. And then lastly here, I wanted to just recognize Dylan for agreeing to take over the Adopt a Library, Getting to Know Your Library Better program. We definitely appreciate that. You're able to help us to maintain that list of those who are signed for our library branches. And just as a reminder, again, we're just being asked to support the library staff of the library that we've been assigned to by bringing goodies at times when you're able to, certainly in February if we could support your library week, and then being able to go to some of the programs of the library. So thank you again, Dylan, for stepping up and being over that program this year.
And can I add one thing?
Sure.
And Dylan, thank you so much for taking over that responsibility. As you know, many of you are aware, when you've got your assignments, and you have questions about your assignments, please reach out to Dylan or I. There's also a foundation counterpart to your library. I believe, and I want to check on this, but I believe they will be voting. The foundation didn't have its meeting this week. They're meeting next week. And I think that's when they will make their assignments and define who your counterpart is. So not that prevents you from going and visiting your library, but it's good to coordinate. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I overlooked something I should have mentioned from the outside of this meeting. I apologize for that. I want to welcome back Rob Sapp to our board meetings. I just wanted to really acknowledge him. So glad to see you. Even virtually, so glad to see you. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge you. Thank you. All right, so going down our reports, turn it over to Tim. Did I hear something?
Could I just add one thing?
Absolutely, please.
I just wanted to thank Tim for all his help. And once we get the foundation counterparts, I hope to get an email out to everybody just with kind of an update. And yeah, I should send that out in the next week or two.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right, so Tim, you're up for the treasurer's report.
Thank you, everybody. Pleased to make my first report as treasurer. Please report, we do have money as a library system. I did confirm that.
Right, that's great.
Cedric and I met in August with a good conversation. They've been busy and they will be very busy for the rest of this year. We're beginning the budget process for fiscal year 27. The leadership team is working with departments to develop supplemental requests based on our needs, which is a very important thing, which we'll all be involved in. This process will continue through the end of November, and then will be submitted to Finance and Audit Committee probably December. Final report to the county. So that's for 2027. Again, the field work for the foundation audit will begin on October 6th. Finance is working with foundation staff to gather all of the financial information for the past fiscal year. We don't anticipate any problems, but we will see draft of foundation financials and reports during the October Finance Committee. And all of our financial reports should be in the meeting deck. We're on track. And Cedric, is there something going on with the supplemental now in terms of that going to county and our involvement?
Yeah, that's the major part of the budget request, is the supplemental piece. The operating budget is pretty much, we carry over the same operating budget from year to year. The only additions that we have to regular budget, it comes in forms of the supplements. So we just started that process this week, Monday, and I've already gave the templates to send out templates to the chiefs. So now the chiefs will be getting with their particular staff, and then they'll be just reviewing reviewing what the needs are. I don't have a good sense right now of where the county is going in terms of, what they're going to be funding and what some of their priorities are. But I do meet with our new budget analyst on Monday. So I'll have a chance to sit down and talk with her and just get a feel for what the county is doing and then we'll move forward.
And the one thing I guess that was new for everybody to be aware of, we now have, because of the union contract, we have it, that's part of the supplement. So it's important. Not that there's really any risk of that not being approved, but we want to make sure that goes through, so that everybody will talk about get that agreement in place. That's part of the supplement process.
Yes, sir.
I would just like, since you mentioned the union contract, Demita and I just signed the contract. We got the signatures from the union folks last week, and so we now have actual signed contracts with the two bargaining units, which is great. Just to clarify on the cost of living and merit adjustments for this year, we knew kind of as we were in the middle of the process that it was going to be a 3% cost of living and a 3% merit. We also put that into the fiscal 27 budget. That is, again, completely dependent on the county, and I think we have, correct me if I'm wrong, Coven, but I think we have a statement in there that it is dependent on the county providing that funding. They don't automatically provide it, and if they don't, then I think we renegotiate that. We renegotiate that part of the contract to adjust it to what the county is able to provide. And with inflation moving as it is, I think it's likely they would provide the 3% and 3%, but which is pretty healthy. It's a good addition to our pay scale, but we do have to wait until that year to see where things are going.
Skip, I'd like to congratulate everyone who's worked on this. I know there was sort of a great coming together. I experienced kind of remotely the last several months, but I think it reflects the kinds of folks we have in the staff and management and executive management, and I think collectively you've done a great job.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Rob, and I think the reflection goes right to, especially to the bargaining team for both the union bargaining team as well as Coven, Rudy, and Kathy on our management team, along with our attorney.
Thank you. I'd like to move on to the liaisons to the foundation board, so either Noah or Tim.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
So, yeah, Tim and I agreed I would do this, and then he'll brief the trustees to the foundation next Tuesday. So first of all, apologies for not being there in person. 13-year-old kid with piano lessons and stuff like this, kind of complicated. So I'll be leaving in probably about 20 minutes or so for that. I apologize. But as far as the foundation update, you can see the document that's included in the meeting book for today. I'll just kind of give the sort of wave tops, as we say at the Academy. So first things first, I know Demita already mentioned this, but just to reiterate, the For the Love of the Library event is this Friday at Bush Annapolis. I'll be there. I look forward to seeing other folks there. The foundation gathered in June for its year-end meeting, and it staffed its officers and executive committee for the new season. You can see that roster in the document that's included. Of note too, Tim is signing on to be a trustee liaison to the foundation as Ashani steps down from that role. So thank you to Ashani for doing that, and thank you for Tim for assuming the role. Fiscal year 2025 was obviously extremely successful. As you can see, the foundation hit 142% of its revenue target with over $852,000 raised. And recently funded items to highlight include $152,000 in support of the Discoveries branch expansion and $50,000 to the Summer at Your Library program. And I guess the other stuff I would say, along with For the Love of the Library, look out for an event at Forward Brewing on October 1st, and then Read Between the Wines in November. So there will be more announcements, obviously, forthcoming for those. And I think that's it. As ever, address any foundation-related questions to Kathleen. I can't see if she's there, but I know it's a busy week for all the foundation folks. I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Noah. Kathleen, just so you know, she's actually not here today. It is a busy week for foundation staff, so she is not here today. But are there any questions at all on the foundation report? And I'm grateful for Skip for keeping me on track here in terms of thinking about all the people who need to be recognized here in this meeting. So I do want to formally recognize Lonnie for having hosted our summer social earlier. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you to all who were able to participate. Of course, it was also open to the foundation board members. It was open to the ELT. So definitely appreciate you opening up your home and allowing us to have a chance to fellowship.
Next time it'll be a pool party.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're ready for the CEO report as well as the ELT report.
Okay, thank you, Demita. So a few things. I want to look back at the mention of the Citizens for Maryland Libraries event on that Saturday, October 11th. You will be able to get to Cheers afterwards. Most of the things happen in the morning. And two keynote speakers are coming. Maria McCauley is the president of the American Library Association. She's the library director at Cambridge, Massachusetts. I am Facebook friends with her, and I just saw that she just got back from some event in Kazakhstan. So they send the ALA president all over the world. But she's fantastic. You'll enjoy hearing from her. Morgan Miller, our state librarian, who is also a celebrity bartender tomorrow night, but Morgan will be speaking at the CML event. So if you can get there, that it's really quite worthwhile. I wanted to mention that I guess it was 2 days ago that Bethany Lambert organized a bus trip for staff to the Library of Congress and the United States Capitol. 75 of us on 2 buses went, had an incredible time. It was just great getting over there and being with staff kind of from all over the library system. So that was quite amazing. We've never done that, and it reminded me of many years ago when I worked at the Duke University Library. They organized a trip from Durham all the way up here to see it. And in those days, they didn't have electronic media so much, but it was great to be there this week. Let's see, I think. Oh, I did want to mention Kathleen Sparrow said, I can get to the meeting. I said, Kathleen, just focus on your thing. She and her staff are really working hard now, along with Christine and others, so many others. We have, I think it's 40 staff members who will be at the event at different stations telling about the library. That's going to be an incredible For the Love of the Library event. And I think that with those 40 staff members, they said they were going to max this out at 400, but they actually have, with the staff members, there are 470 people. And they're expecting some attrition, but still, that's going to be an incredible event. With that, most of the executive team have some things to say. I wanted to start with Cedric to talk about the Malcolm X proposal.
All right. I hope that everyone received the information that we sent out earlier today concerning the design, and we also sent out some where our committee felt was the best spot for the memorial. And we came with some recommendations. So just to give you a little background, our Arts Advisory Committee is part of our policy, our public arts policy. And our committee consisted of 5 positions. We have the library trustee, who's Noah, served on there. Foundation Board of Directors member, which was Jesse Ballard. We had an art professional from a local public institution, which was Donna Anderson. who's the executive director of the Chesapeake Art Center, a landscape architect, which was Shelley Brents, who was the landscape architect for the Bush Annapolis Library. And lastly, we had a private citizen who's knowledgeable of public art, and that was Carmicelle Brown Jr., who was part of the Maryland State Arts Council. We had a very good meeting last week. We discussed, there was 4 basic focus areas that our committee looked at. So we looked at the aesthetics of the particular proposal that was submitted by Mr. Snowden. We looked at the appropriateness of the proposal, the location, and the funding. Funding was easy because it's going to be provided 100% from Snowden, Carl Snowden and his committee. So we don't have to worry about that. It's roughly the cost is going to be around $100,000 for the proposal or for the artwork. We also looked at the appropriateness. There was some discussion about Malcolm X himself and some of his remarks, some of his early days, his Nation of Islam Association. We talked about that at the beginning of the meeting. There was a lot of sentiment that, rightfully so, that he had disavowed all that before he died. So he died very early, at 39 years of age, and he'd already talked about some of his harsh rhetorics, and he what he portrayed early on in his career, and we felt that with him disavowing a lot of those type of remarks, we felt that this was very appropriate, and he stood for a lot. He stood for a lot of equality, and he was we felt that it would be a good addition to our particular library. The location, which you saw, one of the focus areas, Shelley Brents, the landscape architect, she did most of this, background work. We initially had 4 locations, and I guess some of the talk had to do with it blocking the particular building or where it was going to be placed, and she felt that area right adjacent to the traffic circle would be good. She felt that would get the most exposure for individuals walking by, and everybody agreed with that particular board. The thing that we talked about the most was the aesthetics of the particular design. And with the recommendation, that's what was a lot of focus of the particular committee meeting. So other than the location, they talked about the font they felt it was too small. They felt it was very, very hard to read unless you were right close up on the design. So they felt that you could lose some of the wording or at least increase the font. They wished there was more of an artistic element to the particular proposal that they had. There's more of a signage and that pictures, but there's a lot of talk concerning some sort of sculptor or something that would better represent Malcolm X. They wanted to add several features to the particular proposal. They mentioned items like lighting, a bench, a QR code that would link everyone to the educational content of Malcolm X and his books that are out there about it. They also mentioned about sharing the proposal with the Annapolis Arts and Public Places Commission here in the area. And they felt it was very important that we engage or have a dialogue with the Jewish community to address any concerns that they may have. So overall, it was accepted, and these were the recommendations. So I guess our next steps is Skip and I will probably we'll be talking with Mr. Snowden to about some of these recommendations and seeing his thoughts and going back and forth with that. But overall, very good committee, and we sat down, we had a very good discussion on all the items that I mentioned, and we came to a motion to approve the proposal. Any questions?
Not a question, but if you want to see something similar to Perrin Mitchell at Pitt Moyer Recreation Center, the gym there, you can get a sense of the design. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And it is an art.
Okay.
Laura?
Laura?
Has there been, and this might be too soon, but has there been any discussion, because I know in Montgomery County, the Trump administration is pushing for the removal of any history of formerly enslaved Africans in our parks. So if this statue goes up, are we also prepared to defend it? Because I know at the Severna Park Library, there is a monument that commemorates lynching. So are we prepared if that becomes an issue? Because if it's happening in Montgomery County, it can happen anywhere.
So what I just said to Demita is that, yes, we will defend it to the death.
Well, not just to the edge.
I mean it.
To the edge, right before they kill us.
I mean it.
Yeah, no, we think, I mean, I appreciate the comment and certainly, thinking about that. But yeah, I mean, we gone through, such a thorough process. I love the fact that we have this public art policy already in place. We've got this, the great committee work that the committee did. We'll be taking it to the back to Carl Snowden and his team, and then moving on to the next phase in the review process. So again, like we've committed to this, and so yeah.
Noah, do you want to add anything about what we talked about?
No, I think Cedric did a great job covering all the points that were discussed in the meeting. And I guess it was a little hard for me to hear at one point about the location, but did you discuss the location along that walkway near the front?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think you covered it. Thank you.
Just a question for clarification. When you finished having these further discussions, will this come back to the board?
So the way that this is set up by the board with the policy is that it doesn't require a vote of the board, but I definitely wanted to bring it to the board. I would like to get a sense of the board if you feel that you agree with it. So in other words, it's not necessary for the board to approve it because the board has approved the policy, which then comes through these two committees. And Rudy is leading the technical consideration committee, and there's minor technical matters such as how do we maintain it. But I mean, I guess I would want to know, do you want to take a vote on whether you like it or anything like that?
The reason I asked the question is that I was very sensitive to Noah's remarks at the last meeting about the need to seek advice from the Jewish community. And I thought it would be helpful for us to have that report before it became final. But if we're not voting on it ourselves, then I think I'd still like to hear the report and how those conversations went.
Yeah, so my thinking on that so far, because I received several emails when the movie The Encampments was at the Bush Annapolis Library. Two of the people who contacted me are rabbis, and I thought, well, I could at least get back to the two of them and ask them or talk with them, or maybe invite them to come in and we would do a presentation for them to show them about it, and explain why we're looking at it. And then I guess I could report back on that. The thing that I don't want to yield to pressures that Mr. Snowden is putting on us, but he is telling us all along, time is of the essence, because he's trying to do his fundraising by December 31st of this year. But this is not the kind of thing I feel like rushing. I also want to get to the Art in Public Places Commission to talk with them, and as the committee had recommended. So I think we can try to do that next week. We can send out a written report, and then I guess if anybody has concerns after getting that written report through email, we conceivably could call a special meeting of the board if anybody felt like we should do that. But that's kind of where we are with it.
I'm not sure I heard it. Are you still meeting with the two rabbis that contacted you, or you had that meeting?
No, we have not even, they don't know anything about it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
No, I think it would be good to get a report of those as well as the other public places. And then we can see if there's any further need for conversation.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Shani?
Yeah, just two quick questions. If this is approved and we do put it in place, what about maintenance costs? And is that also sort of covered? And then in terms of tenure, like once it's in place, is it forever or how does that work once we put the memorial in place?
Rudy, can you respond to that question? I think you asked for maintenance. I didn't get it.
Maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance cost, okay.
So I'm heading the Technical Considerations Committee. That's the second part of the approval process and the policy. That committee consists of myself, the facilities director, Maribel Abraham, and our maintenance supervisor, Mark Freeman, also a representative from the Department of Public Works and a representative from Risk Management. We have not met yet. We're still, to be candid, the package that was presented to us is incomplete. So we were having to do a lot of homework, and hats off to the our consideration committee that they did so much work to flesh out the proposal so that when we got it, we have more idea of what we need to look at. But the memo of agreement between the Mr. Stone's committee and the county says that all of the installation costs are going to be borne by the committee. So this is going to be at no cost to the library. The ongoing maintenance is very minimal. It's an outdoor artwork. It's made of granite, a very durable material. All it's going to require is just soap and water every once in a while to keep it clean and fresh. But that's where we are right now.
Thank you for the question.
And Shani, you asked, is it meant to be forever? And I think the answer is yes. I think it's meant to be there. Yeah.
But the actual answer on that is by the policy, once the memorial is granted to the county, it's conveyed to the county, it becomes our property. And then we can decide whether or not, how long it stays, depending on the condition of the building and whatever else we decide to do on our campus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Oh,
Is this the final design that we see your emails and said?
No, that's not. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're recommending a different design. So that's what we were provided from Mr. Snowden as an initial proposal. With our recommendation, we would like to see that change.
So, because I think I agree, I see this design as less a memorial and art thing, it's more of an educational display with a lot of text on it, which is fine if that's true, but it's just a lot of text. I do appreciate the fact that there's a really strong tie-in in the library with quotes about books and libraries and Malcolm X standing next to bookshelves. I think that's a really appropriate thing to have. It's gotta be on.
Yeah, now, and just, now, we are just giving you recommendations. So, I mean, Mr. Snowden could possibly say that this is the final, and this is what he wants. So we're just recommending. We're giving recommendations of what we think, and then hopefully we'll have a good discussion back and forth, but I don't know how that conversation is gonna go.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, good discussion.
So I want to move on to my other executive team leaders. So Rudy, why don't I call on you next? You have some updates on our building projects?
Two very brief updates. We've got two projects in the works. Glenburn Library, $45.4 million. Right now we're almost finished with the schematic design. The schematic design is the original, it's the very first pass of what the building's going to look like. It's really kind of hard to use what you see in the architectural pages when you look at the building design, so there's not a lot of detail in it, but enough to give to a contractor by process of what the building. We've gone through a value engineering exercise on it, to see where we can squeeze money out to make it a little more comfortable for the county. We've got enough money in the budget right now to build a building for the schematic design, but the county wants us to get a little more margin for them, so we're working through that process right now. As soon as we get a final schematic design, we will invite the architect to come back and give the board another presentation on where we are, along with some renderings, so you can take a close look at what the building's going to look like. Those renderings, by the way, are really, really close to what the final building comes out. Just the other day, I was looking through the schematic design package that we did for Annapolis, and Dave, he was right on. He was when he did it, so hopefully that will give the board a really good idea of what we're looking at. So look for that update sometime around November-ish. The other project we have is renovations to Brooklyn Park, $4.2 million on that. Right now, we're working with our architect to finish out the construction documents on that. Once those are done, then we'll hire a contractor and get to work on that. That's going to be about another year out before we're able to do that. Any questions?
I see that Laura has her hand raised.
Yes, and I'm having a little trouble hearing, but Rudy, did you discuss the Glen Burnie branch?
Yes.
Okay, because one of the things I was very concerned about was accessible bathrooms on that second floor. And making sure that, because he wanted to have special collections on the second floor, and most people who go to special collections are people who are older, not that only older people use accessible. But I just wanted to make sure that we are totally accessible for people who face disabilities.
100%. We're going above and beyond the requirements that are the Americans with Disability Act. So the building is going to be completely accessible. We were pushing to get
Laura, I think you should be there.
accessible restrooms, so that, gender neutral restrooms, but the code doesn't permit that just yet. So we're still with male and female restrooms, but all facilities will be 100% accessible.
Some of us younger folks are in those collections as well.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, of course.
Thank you for that.
Rudy, could you update on Mountain Road and the library with the Y, with the YMCA?
So on Mountain Road, we are in the process of looking for a suitable site to locate it. We've had a couple of preliminary leads. We've referred them to the county real estate and the Department of Public Works. They're looking to see if they can seal a deal on buying those. What their intent with the Mountain Road project is to buy the land first, so that we have it, and then go back into a capital improvement plan to fund the construction and design construction for it. So they're being proactive about that. They're looking out for us. But nothing solid yet. On Millersville, that's even less solid than before. We've had good discussions with the Y. They are still looking for a suitable location for their facility and our facility co-located. Because we're moving out into the site they previously selected, we moved goalposts on it. We told them we want one single story building instead of a two-story building, which, having gone through the program exercise for Annapolis and for Glen Burnie, that's where we want to be. We want to go one story. So they've taken that into consideration. They're looking for a new site. We don't know where they are.
Thank you.
I can say that I was in Mountain Road today, actually talking to some of the staff, and I always see people that I know in there from the community. There's a lot of excitement. It's generally, initially, Skip, I know you heard some of the mutterings from the community, but people are no longer like that. They're really interested in the direction. and really square footage that isn't dedicated specifically to services for the collection. So it's good. There are good vibes around Medina right now in terms of the new library. People like Riviera Beach, but as I'm sure you know, Pasadena and Riviera Beach are very different communities.
I appreciate that, Rob. I was out at Mountain Road on Saturday and got to talk to staff as well, and it's great to see. I mean, it was very busy. There was a program going on, but not just the program. There were all kinds of people in there. So, yeah, it's great. It is great.
Very good. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's see. Kathy, you have a report on this policy, which we're not quite ready to take to the board.
Yes, so do you want to give context or you want me to?
Yeah, why don't you give the context, yes.
Okay, so we received a directive, I believe it was from the Attorney General's office, that they want all the libraries to have a policy in place by October 1st about what to do if ICE shows up at the library. And so the Maryland State Librarian, Morgan Miller, who was talking about earlier, is working on language for us so that all the libraries can have pretty much the same policy on what to do, and that makes so much sense, right? We should all be doing, at least as far as we can, the same thing or close to the same thing. We have not received that guidance yet, so we are waiting for that. As soon as we get that, we will share it and we will put that in place, and then we will bring it to the committee meetings the next time we meet in October. In the meantime, we had developed ICE protocol, ACPL protocol for ICE visits. I put it in board effect earlier today. You can take a look at it. It's very detailed, very practical for what staff should do. If ICE does show up, it's not on what has not happened yet in our libraries, but I wanted it to be something that staff could refer to so that they felt more comfortable, because they are understandably quite worried that this could happen. So I did a bunch of research on it. I liked the template that University of Maryland libraries were using, so I started there. And then I tailored it for our needs, our staff, and I ran it by Jay Creech, our attorney, to make sure that it aligned with Maryland law, and he approved it. So you can take a look at it. It basically says, this is what ICE can do, this is what ICE cannot do. This is what the staff should do. These are the reporting steps that we expect you to take, and just to provide them support so that they are, at least feel somewhat confident in what they should do if this should happen at one of our libraries. Yeah.
Will they receive any training on that?
So we haven't done formalized training, but we put this out quite a few months ago, and all the managers have talked to their staff about it. I've answered some questions. We even did a shorter one-page FAQ because it's too long, we want highlights, so we did that. So not a full everybody together, but we have done training in branch to branch, and we talked about it at headquarters.
Wanted to acknowledge Laura, she's got her hand raised.
Sure.
Thank you. And I think one of the questions I had has already been answered about staff having training. And I know what Montgomery County Public Schools, they've given us specific trainings. And I loved what you said, that you're looking at what other states, other entities around the state are doing. But I don't know if you've also talked to Anne Arundel County Public Schools. Schools have a custodial responsibility that libraries don't have, but ICE is very close to where my school is, and people are starting to be picked up within a few miles of Wheaton High School. So we are working very diligently to keep our families abreast. And my union, the union that we belong to, we've had intensive training of what can be done, what can't be done, what to say, what not to say, what to show, what not, it's and it can be pretty dramatic. So I'm glad that training is taking place, but this may also be a time when we can partner with the school system when it comes to children, because I went to Teen Connect yesterday at Elkridge. So especially when it comes to when teens and children are transitioning from school to the libraries, because I know that's, Bowie's impacted by that. Woodlawn in Baltimore County is impacted by that. My school is not right next to the library, not right next to the public school, but there are high schools and libraries that are adjacent. to the public schools. And so it might be beneficial just to have a liaison to make sure the public schools and the public libraries are on the same page. But you all don't have the custodial duties, but a lot of kids are going to be in the libraries right after school.
Sure, yeah, I could definitely take a look at their policy and procedures. I have not done that, actually. And we do certainly have kids coming over to the library after school. So, yeah, I can definitely take a look at that. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Kathy, yeah, this isn't so much a question as a comment. Another hat that I wear is, newly wear, is the head of the Education and Outreach Committee for the Annapolis Opera Company. And I know that the 16 libraries the last few years have been hosting, each library, performances and opportunities for the public to get to know the opera. And I wanted to thank you for that. It's also my charge at some point in this fall to do an assessment of the success of the program. Are you the right person that should be talking to?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you about that. I probably would reach out to Steve Mangum, who did our summer programs. Summer Library, that's his responsibility. But yes, we should talk, and I can give you more feedback. But I can tell you overall that they went really well, and attendance was really good. We did them last summer too. So when we did them again this summer, I was like, I wonder if people are going to be like, oh, I already saw that. Of course, it was different, but but they weren't. They came. They really liked it. So in a good way, they were like, oh, I know what this is. So
I think it's a great thing
it is
doing because opera's seen by so many people who don't know it well as a kind of elitist sort of thing. And of course, it rises out of the body politic from its origins. And it's a great opportunity to show everybody that it's for every man and woman, child and adult.
Absolutely. I went to some of them and I really like them. But yes, we can talk. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Abby?
It's not much of a question, but one comment. I absolutely do agree with Laura. I know that there's a lot of students who go to the library after school, and there's also been some concerns about ICE and stuff. So I feel like if students are made aware that maybe the library system can work with the school system and maybe different policies are the same, and then students are made aware of that, it would make everybody a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I can definitely talk to them. I think we have different responsibilities than the schools. We probably won't have the same policy, but I do think it would be good for us to know what the school's policy is in case the kids are nervous or they come over and they don't know if they should go back and get their backpack or whatever. If we knew how the school was going to handle that, that would probably be really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Good discussion. Thank you.
So I have one more person to report, and that's Christine.
Mine's going to be about 30 seconds. You should have received an invitation to a ribbon cutting for a story walk, which is basically you take the pages of a storybook and you mount them, you put them in lovely displayers, and people can enjoy the outdoors and exercise and be together while reading a story. We're having a ribbon cutting at Quiet Waters Park. It is the 30th of September at 10:30. You can get into the park for free if you say you're coming to this story walk, and that will be the case for the public for the first week, all we can get. So please join us if you're available.
What was the date again?
September 30th is a Tuesday, I believe, at 10:30. Thank you.
Thank you. Such a neat idea. Thank you. I love that. All right, so moving on to our reports from our committees. So Tim, do you have an additional report for finance and audit?
Nothing additional. The only thing we approved during our meeting was the measures on the consent agenda.
The what? Sorry?
The only thing we approved during our committee meeting was the items on the consent agenda.
Great. Governance strategy and organization, Jeremy?
Yeah, we had an agenda. The primary item was the proposal on the Malcolm X Memorial. We discussed that, discussed the board's role and not having a sort of position on that. And our only recommendation was that the leadership committee, they maintain the information file, right? So understand happening. And obviously, we had a lot more discussion today about it, with the recommendation of bringing those reports we brought back to inform the that was really it. We didn't have any action on that.
Thank you. And for, for HR and diversity, I see that Faith isn't with us. Who?
We just have updates that were provided to the committee for, we had Becky Hass, our programming outreach manager, come and give updates at some reviews at your library. She reported that there's a 16% increase in participation, 16% increase in learning games and an 86% increase in participation. And then there's a host of different programs that they're sponsoring this summer at the library. I provided updates with the union. One contract was not signed yet, but we had it signed by the union earlier this week, and now today we're signed on our side. That's been completed. And we're just waiting on setting up some of the committees that were outlined in the CPA, like our safety committee and our labor management relations committee.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, hearing none. I don't have any additional consideration items as listed here on the agenda. Everything I needed to say I already announced. With that, does anyone else have any other announcements, questions before we go to the order? All right, so do I need to take a motion to adjourn? Okay, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I second it.
All right.
I so move.
All right, with that,
Sorry.
but to adjourn without you all's consent. All right. The ayes for adjourning our meeting?
Aye.
All right, objections? All right, we're adjourned.
Hey.